Hello, everybody. This is Adamu Muhammad Ankore. This is my second podcast for the day. And, there was an inspiration and I didn't want to miss that window of opportunity. And I wanted to share with you what came to my mind. The summary is I am optimistic about the future of freedom. I think we are getting better. Simply because look at couple hundred years ago. People were ruled by kings and queens and monarchs and what have you. And then now is democracy. And I think the future is individual freedom. So this is how it starts up. Long time ago, it was kings. So only few people really decide things. The kings, the palace, these are unelected officials. They kind of run things. They run things. And then, what is happening now? We transition to democracy, right? Countries are transitioning to democracy. So instead of few people just deciding stuff, now we got many people deciding stuff. We got anyone of voting age could go to the voting booth to vote. So, from few to many. The future though, would be more of individual. So, I don't know if you are getting the progression here. Before only few decide for the rest, right? And then now it is more than few. So let's say before it was like 5 or 1% that decide for many. Now it's like 30%, 40%, depending on your voter turnout, that decide for people. So really, let's say everybody of voting age can decide. So from few percentage to like more than 60, sometimes more percent, because in some countries the voting age, those are legal to vote, they are at least, if not more than 50% of the population. So we went from 5%, for example, or less, to at least or close to 50% that decide stuff for the rest of the population. The future will continue to get better. We'll continue to allow individuals to decide for themselves. So hopefully it will get to a point where it is 100%, meaning only you can decide for yourself. No one can decide for you. Only you can decide your future. That means everything. That means no government. Of course, you can't control crime. You just don't know what people will do, right? You can't control that. But what you can control are things that you have control over. Meaning things you place. Government is thing that we place. So it's what I call planned violence. Criminality is unplanned. It's not something that we institute amongst ourselves that, everybody should rob people, Well, it's a form of government, but criminality, that's something that no one can really predict. So we get rid of planned violence. And that could be as well as upbringing children. We need to bring our children peacefully, and that could be culture. Some culture have institutionalized violence. So some culture would forcefully cut women in their private parts. So things like that. Those will continue to reduce, and hopefully we would reach 100% freedom. What I mean is, like, government is gone, violence in culture, in religion, all of that is no more. So I am an optimist. I'm an optimist. The data clearly shows that as people have gained more freedom, so as we have come from few people deciding everything to more people deciding everything, wealth is increasing. According to FEE, in one of their articles, I think somewhere in the late, in half of the last century, more than 50% of the world population lived in extreme poverty. Right now, it's less than 10%. And so there's the direct correlation between more freedom, more peace, even peace. We are a lot more peaceful now than we were. Think of all the world wars. Think of all the religious wars. There were a lot of wars before. So both in peace, in wealth, we are getting better. And I think that is directly correlated to freedom. The more we allow people to decide, e.g. democracy, the more the peace, the more the freedom. And in the future, the more we allow the individual as the supreme being, we will maximize our wealth, our peace, and everything else. And criminality will reduce, violence in all forms. So that's what really came to my mind. It is something that I have written before, infographically. That means in a picture form. And if you are feeling depressed about my earlier podcast, they're gloomy, we're not free, this is something that hopefully will cheer you up. That the world is getting more freer, and we're getting a lot more peaceful, and more prosperous. Thank you again for listening. If you like what I do, if you like what I say, if you could leave me a rating or like or anything like that, I would really appreciate it. And that would get me up the ranking and allow more people to listen to my message. All right. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.